The topic has been heating up across Buffalo schools as to whether teachers should intervene in student fights physically. Just last month, Buffalo School Board President Sharon Belton-Cotman said teachers should be allowed to do whatever it takes to keep students safe.
But the district's teachers union says the responsibility should not rely on faculty. Right now, we are joined by Larry Scott, Vice President of Student Achievement with the board. Larry, thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
First, let's just set this up for us. Tell us a little bit about what these discussions are stemming from.
Well, you know, occasionally we do have some fights in our schools. I think it's important to note that about 90% of our students come to school, do what they're supposed to do, don't get in trouble, are safe, and are not fighting. But just like in the suburbs and charter schools everywhere, you're going to have times where there's fights. And so I don't know exactly what prompted the conversation or the response about how teachers should be specifically handling these incidents, but it was a pretty strong comment that was made, and I just want to be clear that it doesn't represent me. There's no mandate, there's no law, there's no policy that requires teachers to physically intervene when there are fights. There are multiple other strategies that I know as an educator and I practice every day to de-escalate situations, to intervene when it does even get to the point where students are fighting.
You know, I'm curious, the teachers contend that, as you mentioned, there's nothing contractually, there's nothing in their contract that requires them to physically intervene. They believe that if they force teachers to intervene physically, they also could be harmed in breaking up a fight or whatever it is. So that's their stance. Do you think that that is something that is unique? I don't know if it's something that can really be overcome. If there's nothing contractually forcing them to, you mentioned there's no law, no state law, there are other alternatives. So what are teachers supposed to do? What do they do now when fights do break out?
Yeah, and to your point too about them getting hurt themselves. The safety of our teachers is important to me, just like the safety of our students in our schools. And when you do then have a teacher that gets hurt, think about the impact, if they're out then for a period of time, think about the impact on all the students that they're teaching, their learning, and their social emotional functioning, and their sense of safety if the adult that they know and trust that they've been working with all year is all of a sudden taken out of the picture. So, you know, we need to look at this at a high level as to how safety on a high level, how it's impacting all of our schools and everybody in our school environments. And there's verbal strategies, nonverbal strategies. There are professionals in our buildings that can assist when these types of situations happen, including our BPS security, which we've dramatically increased and added them to our elementary buildings.
Larry, that kind of led me to my next question. You mentioned that there are things you practice yourself. What are some of those examples of non-physical means?
So I'll just kind of give you examples. If I'm in a hallway frequently during passing times at the end of the day, and a lot of times you start to sense that things are starting to heat up, and you just letting them know you're there, that alone can sometimes change the direction and whether that turns physical or not. And then obviously using some calm verbal redirections, letting them know alternatives that they can start to choose to de-escalate, calling for assistance if you need another teacher, another staff member, an administrator, moving people to particular spaces or rooms where you can separate them so that people can calm. There's a list of strategies that and interventions that teachers, educators are constantly being, are learning and incorporating in their daily work.
The schools should get some credit as well, because really, if you all were tuning in during the first half of the year, the violence within Buffalo schools was really dominating a lot of the headlines. Things kept happening almost each and every week. That has since fallen off dramatically. Do you think that some of the things you're talking about right now are what is currently being deployed in the buildings, and it is having a positive impact?
Yes, and that we are constantly through our staff development, professional development, training teachers to de-escalate, training them in restorative practices. We've added mental health professionals, which obviously is huge, especially coming out of the pandemic. Some of the other racial, social injustice situations that have happened that have impacted our students and families. And I'm seeing it too, even though I don't work in Buffalo Public Schools, I work in another district. I'm starting to see it now too You know, after that pandemic, when we had to get back into that routine, students were struggling socially, emotionally, behaviorally. And now I think we're finally, it takes time, we're finally starting to see kids get back into that routine and better regulate their emotions and their behaviors in that school environment.
So where are these conversations right now? Are things kind of boiling over? Are they expected to continue?
Well, you know, I think the superintendent at our very last meeting spoke very well about the safety of everybody and trying to work together to solve these challenges that we face. And I think offered for the adults that have concerns about this to sit down in the room, work it out, because we're all here to make sure our kids are learning and are progressing socially and emotionally. And if we're bickering in boardrooms, other places, it's not helpful to our students and families.
To close that loop, and in concurrence with what you just said, Rich Nigro, the Union Board President, going to be joining us later in the week to talk about this topic as well. We wanted to hear from both sides, of course. He says the same exact thing. He's hoping that, he is hopeful that that collaboration can continue, and did mention the meetings that you're talking about with the superintendent, with the board president. He says the same thing. He hopes that something can be worked out. So when you have two sides that are saying the same thing in that type of collaboration, that seems like a pretty positive outcome is in store.
Absolutely. You know, I don't know President Nigro very well, but the interactions I have had with him, seeing him present on particular matters, he seems to be very proactive, very open-minded, and wanting to do truly what's best for our kids in all our schools. So I'm hopeful that we can get past this and start talking about real strategies to keep everybody safe.
All right, well, Larry, we certainly thank you so much for taking the time to come in this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.